Welcome back to the Fit Life Podcast. My name is Joe Chroman. I am certified personal trainer, health coach, and life coach. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to be talking about something that can completely change your fitness journey and honestly, your life. We're talking about creating positive environment and learning not to let one setback define your progress. All right, let's get started on the show. So, what is a positive environment? A positive environment isn't pretending everything is perfect. It's surrounding yourself with thoughts, people, and habits that help you keep moving forward. Okay, I want you to ask yourself, who am I listening to? What am I telling myself? Am I building myself up or tearing myself down? The environment you create in your mind is just as important as the one around you. Look, stop letting one mistake become two. One bad meal doesn't ruin your progress. I tell people all this time or all the time. Just because you eat a bad meal, don't let it determine the rest of the day. Just, it's like, okay, I had a bad meal. Now I'm going to focus on the next meal on a better meal. So don't feel bad, right? One bad meal is not going to determine and totally ruin your day. So, and one missed workout doesn't ruin your week. I say this very often. Just because you missed a workout, and I've got people schedules change, and sometimes they can't make it 3 times a week. Sometimes they only can make it 1 or 2 days a week, and so don't worry about it. Just be consistent. It's not about perfection. It's about being consistent. So one workout doesn't ruin your whole week. Okay. One rough day doesn't erase months of hard work. And this is where I think people, you know, we're talking about creating a positive environment. Just because you had a rough day doesn't, totally mess up your whole life and, months of great of work. You work for months, you work for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you have a bad day. Okay, it's time to forget about that day. Um, how do we fix that bad day? Just continue on. Make the next day better. Make the end of your day the best day. I always say this: even if you have a bad day, try to end your day as in a positive way. You know, breathe, take a breath, relax, focus in on something that is going to make you happy, make you feel good. Um, because life's too short, right? So the problem isn't usually the mistake. The problem is what happens after the mistake. We start thinking, well, I blew it, you know, I'll just start over Monday because, I've already blew it. I've already made, uh, I already messed up. So instead of just simply saying, that meal is over, my next choice can be a healthy one. So, you know, don't focus in on the negative and on the failures and on the just because I had some potato chips, a whole bag of potato chips. I was like, okay, I totally blew it. Which you can even back it up to that. It's like, okay, I had a couple bad, I was like, I had some potato chips. So I might as well eat the whole bag because I totally ruined it. Right? No, you don't have to do that. Okay. You can eat a couple chips, put those chips down and focus in on a better snack, granola bar, yogurt, piece of fruit. Um, there's a lot of options there. And so progress isn't perfection. I tell people all the time is it's not about perfection. It's about being consistent, one step at a time, one day at a time, and having a purpose of the workout also helps. So, we get healthier by consistent, right? I've coached people from every walk of life pretty much. And the people who succeed aren't the ones who never struggle because that wouldn't be life, you know. Even if they say, "Well, I never struggle." Well, that's not true because everybody struggles. The most successful people has struggled. So don't, like I said, don't focus on the bad, focus on the good. So, you know, who the people who succeed, like I said, aren't the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who keep showing up after they struggle. Going back to the boxer, when he gets knocked down, he gets back up. That's what makes a good boxer, right? Get up before the 10 count. Even if you lose the match, doesn't mean you quit being a boxer. You get back up. There's been people that have gotten knocked out, lost the round or lost the whole match, but got back up and became, you know, a great boxer. So talk to yourself differently. Imagine your best friend had one unhealthy meal. What would you tell them that they failed? No, probably not. Uh, you would tell them, "Hey, keep going. You're okay." You're going to encourage them. You're going to so why not do that the same for yourself? Be good to yourself. Give yourself grace. Encourage yourself and challenge yourself, but don't tear yourself down. It's okay to realize, okay, I messed up or I ate a wrong meal or I didn't do what I wanted to do, got my routine messed up or whatever. I keep telling myself I'm gonna go on a walk and I don't. Like just do better. Okay. Spend time around people who encourage healthy choices. Hey, listen to podcasts that motivate you, like this one, right? There's a lot of podcasts out there that's uplifting and that can really, really help you. Find a mentor, find a coach, find a trainer that will help you with that, even if it's for a short time. Read books that challenge you. I think that's a lot of people probably fail in just picking up a good book and letting it sink in. Um, keep healthy foods where you can see them. Make this easy, and this is what I do at my house. Like we literally do not have many bad snacks. We have a couple, but I choose to have stuff on the counter or something that's really easy, accessible, that is good snacks like apples, bananas, all kinds of fruit. And then I have like, protein bars, I have mixed nuts, I have yogurts, stuff that's really easy, those little um I forget what they call them. They have like the nuts and the cheese and everything, in the little container that you can buy, low calories, just something really quick. It's got some protein, um, all that good fiber. So that'll help you. And, celebrate the even small victories. I tell people all the time, look, what are you celebrating today? What are you coming to the table? What are you bringing to the table today? What are you celebrating? Even if it's a little small thing. So those of you who are listening right now, focus in on something that it was a win today. What are you celebrating? Even if it's small, even if it's like, hey, I got out of bed a little bit earlier and I did some breathing and went for a walk, or just anything. Hey, you know what? I swapped out some Coke for water. Um, hey, I seen somebody that was kind of in need and helped them out for a minute. So any little thing that is positive, celebrate that. And it's a great feeling. Your environment either pulls you toward your goals or away from them. So remember your why. When you know why you're doing this, one setback doesn't seem nearly as big, right? Maybe it's having more energy, Maybe it's uh to play with your grandkids. And maybe it's uh, uh lowering your blood sugar. All these are wins. Maybe it's simple, but it does make you feel better, right? Your purpose is always bigger than a bad day. So I want to tell a story. This is interesting. I seen this on a little short or whatever. It really um, impressed me and really hit home, and I thought it was pretty awesome. And so it starts with the an older gentleman that is in his shop or whatever, and he's looks like he's carving something, where you really can't tell what he's carving, and he kind of pushes it aside, and uh, he puts his tools in the toolbox and closes it up and sets it on the top shelf. So you're thinking, oh, I guess he just quit, right? Well, the next morning he gets up and does his routine, goes in the shop, grabs the toolbox off of the top of the counter or the shelf, puts it on the ground and picks it up, puts it back on the shelf. And I'm like, what's he doing? And then he grabs it and takes it and puts it on the floor. Then he picks it up, puts it on the shelf. He puts it on the floor. He puts it on the shelf. He does this like several days and just, several times a week. And, months go on and it starts getting cold weather. So now you see him, when I set the scene, it's wintertime and it's snow on the ground. And he gets in his old truck, you know, and he drives. He drives pretty good little distance and he gets there at night, walks up the walk, knocks on the door, and it's his daughter and son in law. And he sees his grandkid, his little grandchild, and she runs up to him, "Hey, Papa," he's so happy. And he said, "Wait right here." So he goes out to the truck and he pulls out this little bitty something wrapped up in a pack, wrapped up in a Christmas wrapper, and he gives it to her. And she's, "Can I own?" He said, "I want you to unwrap it right now." She goes, "Really?" So she's excited. She unrips it, and it's the star, right? And he grabs her from off the ground and picks her up over his head, so she can put that Christmas star on top of the tree. So I thought that was so stinking awesome. And I was like, wow. He basically trained, right? Several times a week, all those months, because he had a purpose. So I want to ask you, what is your purpose today? You know, what, and I think sometimes if we have a purpose, it really motivates us to stay in shape, to be fit. Do you want to be uh, that older gentleman that trained so he can pick up his grandchild, or she can put that star on the top of the Christmas tree, or whatever you want. Maybe it's picking up your child and placing them on a new bicycle, or anything to do with life, or you can just pick up something off the ground and put it somewhere. Have a purpose, and I think if you can focus on that purpose, not just you, which I think is very important to focus in on you and to give yourself grace and work on you, because when you are feeling good and you have the energy, then you can be a help to others. You're able to be a better father, a better grandpa, a better husband, a better wife, whatever. Um, your spouse. Be a better grandma, be a better mother, be a better wife, be a better friend, be a better uh, child or, a kid to your, um, so my challenge today is if today hasn't gone the way you plan, don't quit. Make your next decision a better one. Drink some more water, go for a walk, choose a healthy meal, do 10 minutes of movement. Small choices repeated over time create incredible results, just like the old gentleman that picked up that toolbox every day so he can pick up that grandchild. One bad meal doesn't erase your progress. One missed workout doesn't ruin your week. One difficult day doesn't define your future. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving forward. Thank you for listening to the Fit Life Podcast. My name is Joe Chroman, and we will see you on the next episode.